Welcome to Semarang, Indonesia. This is the second episode of this short vlog-style documentary about how bags are being made.
I'm slipping away, so don't let me go now. Your love is exceptional, it overflows. It's out of control, I'm in love.
So the next step, design is finished. We have chosen the fabrics, the design, the color. So what's next?
We definitely want to go straight into production, but that's not the truth. We actually have to have the analyst team analyze all the process here. Because in production, it's all about preparation.
Of course, yeah.
As I said before, if one item is missing, well, you have to wait 2-3 weeks to get that item shipped from that supplier to get it right. Then your whole process is delayed 3-4 weeks.
Makes sense, yeah.
So in here, the analyst team will do actually the cost breakdown to find how much amount it needs of each fabrics, webbings, and zippers per bag, and also the cost for that, and the sourcing. Do they need to source those materials by air or by sea freight? And then time study, basically, you have to check the time, how long it takes producers to make one bag, and then operation breakdown into the lines. So in this factory, we use 26 people, one line. So then one bag will break up into 26 operations. For example, stitching one zipper here is one operation, so that'll be done by one person.
Okay, and then they take this part to the next person, then they stitch a panel on it, and it comes to the next, and that's a whole line until one bag is finished.
Yes.
And one line is 26 operations.
Yes.
Okay.
So most simple bags will be finished in 26 operations.
Okay.
But some of the more complicated ones have like lots of modular sections and internal components. Then we'll increase the lines. So then it will have like 2 lines or 3 lines production. That means we can add more operational procedures.
So all right. So we have the time study. Now is the machine allocation.
Line setup. So machine allocation and specialist allocation is basically every process in a bag has different complication level. For example, binding process uses stronger machines compared to normal sewing machines because they bind, like say, the front panel and the back panel together, and then they have to bind that. They need a stronger penetration, so they use a heavy-duty machine. So those machines are different. So depending on your bags, we'll allocate those special machines on the right place in the part of the lane. Of course, And then, for example, zippers. So many of
those are probably very difficult because sometimes you have to go right around the corners and stuff like that, right?
Exactly. So you actually need really trained worker to do a zipper process. And nowadays you see lots of waterproof zippers that goes curved and some different directions. So basically, curving zippers are very difficult to stitch. And basically, specialist allocation is where you want to put those specialist person into the right area.
Makes
so you
sense.
don't want having one product with an awkward zipper because one person in that lane who's doing the zipper is not skilled enough to do that.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay.
So analyst team actually break down what kind of machine they have to use, what kind of specialists they have to allocate, and basically make sure that the production quality is stable.
Yeah. Makes sense. So now we have that logistics set up. We're done with that. What's the next step then? If all the machines are now in place, every specialist is at the right position, materials are all there, what we're doing now?
So we'll actually start off with preparing the materials. Not sourcing. Let's say everything is already here.
Exactly.
Now what we do is we cut the fabrics, we cut the webbings, we cut the zippers, and we modify the buckles or the accessories to if it needs to be a hole inside, the punching hole for the materials, everything. So we prepare all this base materials into the right size that you have determined here in the sample room.
Oh, so basically you can use the paper that you used to create this 3D dummy of the bag to create all the patterns, and then you have your cutting, the mold, and then you use that to cut all the fabrics and the webbing.
Yes, the panels you made in the sampling process are crucial because then it will be the guideline to make these moldings for the cuttings of the materials.
So after cutting everything, then we go to the lines, right? And the lines create or stitch everything together accordingly, right?
Yes. first they start off with all the small accessory pouches and everything that needs to go into the bag.
Yeah.
So in the line, they actually make the actual bag. Small pockets we sometimes do make in the line, but that's when we have extra people in the line who can do this.
I see.
So most of the time, we want to dedicate as much time as possible for making the actual structure rather than making small pockets in the line.
Of course, of course. All right, so everything, let's say a bag is then at the end of the line. What happens then?
Good question. So at the end of the line, there's 3 boxes usually, and there's a good box. Basically, it's
that's the blue
approved.
one, right? Yeah,
yes,
the blue
approved.
one. Yeah.
And then there's the repairable box. So even though there are mistakes or some failing in QC, if it can be repaired, this will go into the yellow box.
Okay.
So then we'll repair afterwards.
Okay.
And there's a red box. Basically, it's reject that you can't do anything about it.
So basically, at each end of the line, there's one person who checks the bag and puts them in the according boxes.
Yes.
And then what happens then with all the bags that are in a blue approved box? What happens afterwards?
Well, then we have the cleaning process.
Oh,
so the blue box, everything will go into the one cleaning space area in the factory, and they'll do a cleaning with air pressure.
Okay.
And then we go through a needle check, which will be under an X-ray machine to check whether there's any leftover needles or not.
Oh, wow. You mean a needle from the sewing machine that potentially could have broken off and be inside the bag. So you put that into an X-ray machine and check if there is a metal object inside.
Yes, it's a very rare case. It almost never happens in a well-organized factory, but it will be a disaster when a customer receives, and it's a needle, so it can potentially cause harm for anyone who touches.
Yeah, of course. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
This is quite common though. The needle check is very common.
Okay.
And basically what you see in the machinery, you probably see in different factories as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happens then?
So then there's another quality check. So this is the final quality check. This is more about actual build quality. Does it have extra threads coming out?
I see. All right. So and then we go to packaging. Okay.
So we pack them in a big box, and then we'll ship that outside from the factory to the warehouses.
You don't do the shipping to individual customers?
Most factories, they will send the items to whatever your client's warehouse is.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
And then the warehouses will handle the individual shipments from those warehouses to your home.
Okay. So that's a pretty long process of making bags. I didn't expect it to be that long. Thank you very much for watching this second episode of this short documentary about how bags are being made. So if you have any more questions about this episode, comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, click the like button. And please feel free to subscribe to the channel and click that little bell icon so you won't miss the next episodes. Thank you very much.